ओम शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वंदे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. We are studying here what is commonly known as Brahma Sutra Chatursutri with Shankar's commentary. The actual name could be the first four sutras from Badarayana Vyasa's Shariraka Mimamsa Shastra, commonly known as Brahma Sutra. And the first four sutras with Shankar's commentary give a complete picture of our spiritual life. And that is why it is studied separately. And we have seen, because we are meeting once a week, so it is essential that I recapitulate. We have seen that consciousness, which is denoted by I, which is the subject, and matter, denoted by you, which is the object, have nothing in common. Nothing in common. They are absolutely different. And so it appears that by any process of logic, I cannot be superimposed upon you. Consciousness cannot be superimposed on matter. The characteristics of consciousness cannot be superimposed on characteristics of matter. And matter cannot be superimposed on I. Characteristics of matter cannot be superimposed upon characteristics of consciousness by any logical process. And superimposition meaning is that in our awareness, this cannot cover over the other. That is superimposition. Superimposition means in our awareness, matter cannot cover consciousness. Characteristics of matter cannot cover the characteristics of consciousness, and vice versa. And yet, the natural facts of everyday life throughout the world, we see that it is the superimposition which is our life. Superimposition in all the four possible ways. Consciousness being superimposed on matter, characteristics of consciousness being superimposed on that of matter, matter being superimposed on consciousness, characteristics of matter being superimposed on the characteristics of consciousness. This is our life. Natural error in our life. Self-contradiction in our life. Due to wrong knowledge, obviously, and due to some real and something unreal being coupled. So, fact of life is different from the nature of truth. That is the main point. This is called superimposition. Now, in many ways, people try to understand it, analyze it, describe it, but Shankar says that one thing being taken for what it is not is the common characteristic of every understanding of this superimposition. And then, in trying to understand how this superimposition can take place, not on one object on the other, but on the innermost consciousness, which is not at all an object, on that how can matter be, outside matter be superimposed? And then it is explained that it is not necessary that something perceived is superimposed on something perceived. Example of space is never perceived, and yet we are superimposing the dirt and dust and blue color and the hemispherical shape on it, and also that this consciousness is never to be understood as never an object of perception. It is contained in the, when we utter I, that inside this it is perceived. The problem is that it is not perceived purely. It is perceived in a mixed way. But everybody knows that he exists. That means his existence that he knows, this is perceived during when he says I. So this is possible. And then we were told that this is the knowers call it avidya, wrong knowledge. And the obvious way out is right knowledge. That knowledge is right, which will cancel the wrong knowledge and which will never be cancelled by wrong knowledge. So that is the obvious answer. Now, from and another point that the superimposition cannot spoil or give merit to the thing on which it is superimposed. The water which appears on desert can never make the sand moist or wet. So no merit or demerit of the thing superimposed can apply on the thing on which it is superimposed. That was the up to sentence number 18. And though we studied up to 21, the new topic starts in 19. That our life, pramana prameya vyavahara, that means in our life, we use certain means of knowledge and get some knowledge. And in the world and the Vedic knowledge also. That means what the rishis tell us, that also. This is based upon this superimposition. Our daily life is based upon superimposition, and the Vedic instructions are being given by assuming that the man is suffering under superimposition. That was the point. All the Shastras, two types. Do this, you will get good result. If you do this, you will get bad result, is one type of Shastra. And if your consciousness is changed, you will get moksha. This Shastra, both of them are assuming that we are suffering under wrong consciousness or superimposition. Now this has to be explained. In the 21st, it is proposed that Katham Puna Avidyavat Vishayani Pratyaksha Adini Pramanani Shastrani Icha Iti Pratyaksha, Anuman, Upaman, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, Shabda Praman, ordinary, all this is only for a person who has wrong knowledge. And Shastrani Icha and the Vedic instructions are also for this, how to understand. Uchyate, now the reply is being given. Deha Indriya Adishu Aham Mama Abhimana Rahitasya Pramatrutva Anupapattu Pramana Pravrutti Anupapattehe. In the body and Indriyas, unless we have I and my Abhiman. Abhiman means identification with I. I am this body or my body. I am these Indriyas or my Indriyas. This type of identification with I, suppose it is not there. Rahitasya. Suppose this is not there. Then I am no longer a knower. I become knower only when somehow or other I consciousness gets attached to gets mutual superimposition with body and indriyas. Critically, this has to be understood. If I is only consciousness, it is not knower, because everything is only consciousness, and knower means subject, object, knower. So it does not become the subject of knowledge unless it is attached with body and indriyas. Who is this here? I see. Who is this I? That I which is identified with body and indriyas, either as I or as my. My means I use the indriyas to know the world. I live in this body to know the world. Without this, I am not the subject knower at all. I am myself. I am myself. The whole world is myself. That is what should be. But the very fact that I am the knower in the subject of this subject-object knowledge, anupapattau, logic cannot explain that how it will become the subject. And suppose I am not the subject, pramana pravritti anupapatte, then who will use the means to know something? There will be no tendency in I to use some means of knowledge to know something. Any means of knowledge. Pratyaksha, Anuman, Upman, we shall discuss this when it comes to Pratyaksha, Anuman, Upman, Arthapatti, Anupalabdhi, Shabda, all the means of knowledge will not, there will be no tendency to use any one of them to know something. So, our life in the world depends upon our wrong knowledge. नहीं इंद्रियाणि अनुपादाय प्रत्यक्ष आदि व्यवहार संभवति. Unless we make organs as the base for knowledge, then pratyaksha, anuman, etc. do not stand at all. Pratyaksha means through the eyes I see, through the ears I hear, through touch I touch, through tongue I taste, through nose I smell. All this, if I do not take, then there is subject knowing the object. This relation does not stand. न च अधिष्ठानम् अंतरेण इंद्रियाणां व्यवहारः संभवति. Adhishtan means body. Unless you assume that I am living in the body, unless you assume that the indriyas work by my living in the body, then the indriyas cannot function at all. Indriyas function only by living in this body. So, step by step he is stating that I do not become the knower unless I am wrongly identified. Second point is, indriyas, etc., being means of knowledge of any type is not possible. Thirdly, indriyas cannot work unless they live in the body. न च अनध्यस्त आत्मभावेन देहेन कश्चित् व्याप्रियते. Body cannot do anything unless I am superimposed on that. Body is dead, dull matter. How can it act? How can I go into any relationship unless I, the consciousness, is superimposed on it? So superimposition of every type is taking place. न च एतस्मिन् सर्वस्मिन् असति असंगस्य आत्मना प्रमातृत्वम् उपपद्यते. Atman by its nature is absolutely untouched or unattached. consciousness does not have any parts by which it can come into association with matter. And so, unless all this has happened, etasmin sarvasmin asati. Unless all this has happened, I live in the body, I use organs, body works because of I consciousness, organs use because they live in the body. Unless all these things have happened, Atman being the absolutely untouched, unattached, can never be the first point, can never become a pramata, a knower, logically. And nacha pramatritvam antarena, after telling the step, it comes back to the first. That unless Atman is the knower, then no tendency of using any means of knowledge comes. That is the Indian style of logic. You start for a point and go into the details and come back to that point. Then only the matter is completed. So starting from I cannot become the subject and there cannot be tendency to use a means of knowledge. Going into the details, coming back to that, he says that this is not possible. Tasmat avidyavad vishayani eva pratyaksha adi pramanani shastrani cha. So whom will Shastras teach? Unless there is a knower, unless there is a knower harboring under superimposition, to whom the Shastras will teach? To a man who has realized his self, which is Asanga, Shastras do not teach anything at all. What he says becomes the Shastra. So avidya vat. Vat means wala in Hindi. You know the Parsi surnames in India and some Gujarati? Batliwala, Daruwala. That is one who possesses. Actually, they mean one who is selling that. But with what has the best Hindi translation? Wala. Wo wala, ye wala. So that is called what? Avidya what? One who has wrong knowledge as his property. For him, all the pramanas work, and for him, the Shastras give instruction. Now, another point. How without discrimination we are working. How our entire life, including our spiritual sadhana guided by the scriptures, how we are working under wrong knowledge. He has put another argument. This I had referred to in my last class. Pashu adivicha avisheshat. Are we different from animals? Shankar is asking. We are not different from animals so far as our life is concerned. So far even our understanding of the Vedas is concerned. I told you in the last occasion that the brahmachari had become too excited for this. Now Shankar is explaining what he is telling. Yata hi pashu adaya shabda adibhi shrotra adi nam sambandhe sati shabda adi vigyane pratikule jata tata nivartante. Pashu adaya, animals and others. Shabda adibhi, the 5 perceptions, they hear, etc., etc. Shrotra adinam sambandhe sati. This is the exact definition of our perception. What becomes connected with our ear. Then what happens? Vijnane, an experience takes place. Pratikule sati. Pratikule jate. If we are not liking that, if it is opposed to us, if it becomes opposed to what we want, tata nivartante, we withdraw from there. The animals, he'll give an example also. Huh? The animals and others, when they pursue something, if that is not to their liking, they withdraw from there. Anukule cha pravartante. And if that is the liked by them, they go towards that. Yatha. Example. Danda uddata karam purusham abhimukam upalabhya. A cow is going somewhere. And a man with a stick, raised a stick in his hand, is in front. Mam hantum ayam ichchati iti. The cow feels that he is going to hit me. Palaitu maravante, it starts running away. Harita truna purna panim upalabhya. And if it says somebody with green grass is in front, tam prati abhimukhe bhavanti. They go forward towards him. Evam purusha api vyutpanna chitta. Vyutpanna chitta means intelligent scholars. Intelligent scholars, men also. Krura drishtin akroshata khadgoddata karan balavata upalabhya. If they see a strong man with raised sword and shouting and the cruel in his very eyes, a man strong, raised a sword in his hand, shouting with cruelty in his eyes. Upalabhya, when they experience this, tata nivartante, they go away from that. Exception will make us understand things. Holy Mother, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but Holy Mother, in the darkness of evening, alone in a vast field, saw a man, almost dacoit by profession, a robust, strong, black man. And she was not afraid. She told that man that I'm happy that you have come to protect me. Anyway, so this is an exception. She was not harboring under superimposition. But we see like this, we run away, tad viparitan prati pravartante. We do not proceed toward the green grass, but somebody praising us, inviting us, honoring us, we go towards him. Who we means vyutpatti vyutpanna chittaha, intelligent scholars. Those who know the meaning of things, such scholars. Ata samana pashu adivi purushanam pramana prameya vyavara. So man's means of knowledge and thing to be known, this man's relationship is similar to the pashus. I told you that day that Sri Ramakrishna has gone one step more than this and said this is like vultures. They talk very big, but when they see the carrion on the road, they swoop upon it. So when they see things tempting, they go towards it. Pashu adinam cha prasiddha aviveka purassara pratyakshadi vyavahara. And in animals we can understand very easily that there are no discrimination. Tat samanya darshanat vyutpatti matam api purushanam pratyakshadi vyavahara tatkala samana iti nishchiyate. So the scholars also at that time, their behavior is like that only. It is certain. So this is about common behavior. Now the question is about Shastra. Now the question is how we take the command of the Vedas. That now being explained. Shastriye tu vyavahare yadi api buddhi purvakari na aviditva atmana paraloka sambandham adhikriyate. Shastriye tu vyavahare. This is the karma kanda Shastra. And buddhi purvakari, that means I am doing this. With this knowledge, somebody is acting. Atmana parloka sambandham na aviditva adhikriyate. Unless he feels, almost every Indian feels almost every Indian used to feel, though they are changing now, that I am going to be born again. I am something which is going to be born again. Unless we believe in this, why we should go to the Vedas? Vedas will tell us, if you want to go to a better place, do like this. If you do like this, you will go to a bad place. If we believe that we are getting finished in this life, then who will care for that? The Charvakas, the populist philosophy even in India was Rinam Krutva Gritam Pavet. Bhasmi Bhutasya Devasya Punaragamanam Kuta. When the body is reduced to ashes, where is it coming again? So in this life, even make dates and borrow money and drink ghee. So enjoy life. That is what 90% people in the world are doing now. Shankar is not talking about them. About them already has talked. About all these people he has already talked. Now the question is, who follows the Shastras unless one has this wrong knowledge? So he says that unless we believe there is a soul going to some other local, tatha api. So this much knowledge about the soul we have. But, and yet, na Vedanta Vedyam Ashanayadi Atitam Apeta Brahma Kshetra Adi Vedam Asansari Atmatattvam Adhikare Apekshate. The real nature of the self, which is declared only in the Vedanta, who is beyond hunger, thirst, or any wants, and is now talking to the Indians properly, that Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, this difference is not there. A sansari is not going to transmigrate. Atma Tattvam, the real nature of myself. Adhikare apekshate. This is not expected to do karma. If I know that my nature is described in Vedanta, I am beyond hunger, thirst, and all wants. I am beyond Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. I am not transmigrating. That is my real nature. Then such a thing is not expected to do karma and go to heaven. Anupayoga, that is useless for karma. Karma is useless for him, he is useless for karma. Adhikara virodhacha. This word adhikara, let us understand. The Western influence came to India and they brought in this concept of duty and rights. Adhikar and kartavya. This never existed in India, never. In India, we would say, my right is to do this duty. Brahmin's right is to do sandhya. Kshatriya's right is to protect people. Vaishya's right is to do business. Shudra's right is to serve people. So there was no difference between rights and duties. This is a terrible thing introduced by the Western influence in India. Then what was there? What is adhikar? What is right? Adhikar has two elements, please. One is that I can do that. It is possible for me to do that. Secondly, by doing that, I will have spiritual progress. These two combined make adhikar. Refer to Gita. Bhagavan is telling Arjuna that only by change of consciousness one can realize Brahman. But you are not fit for that. You can do karma only, and by doing karma only you can rise. This is adhikar. If you open the first page of the gospel, there it is given. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, if by uttering the name of God, you get horripilation, tears in your eyes, then you have nothing to do with sandhya, etc. karma. Now you are adhikar for giving up karma. That means by giving up karma, you can experience God. So adhikar means you can do that and it will lead you to spiritual progress. That is called adhikar. Adhikara virodhacha. If we know our real nature, then we are not going to go down by observing caste, by doing something to have a better life in future. We are not going to do that. It is opposed to our real nature. So the adhikar, for those who believe that they are transmigratory souls, for them it is natural to go to Vedas and do good work. But if I know that I am perfect, then it is unnatural for me to do work, Vedic work. This should be clearly understood. Prakya tatha bhuta atma vijnanat parvartamanam shastram avidyavat vishayatvam na ativartate. So the Shastra either telling me to do good work or trying to raise me to my real nature. Prakya tatha bhuta atma vijnanat. Unless before I have realized my real nature, up till then only that Shastra is functioning. Avidyatvat vishayatvam. So it is for a man who is suffering under wrong knowledge. A man is suffering under wrong knowledge. For him only these transmigratory instructions are given, or he is raised to non-transmigratory his real nature. A man who is under transmigratory illusion. Na ativartate. They are not beyond that. Example. तथा ही ब्राह्मणो यजेत इति आदीनि शास्त्राणि आत्मनि वर्ण आश्रम वय अवस्थादि विशेष अध्यासम आश्रित्य प्रवर्तन्ते. If it is written in the Vedas, a Brahmin should do havan. Then similar instructions are there. So they are accepting in Atman. They are for the man who is accepting in the Atman all the Varna Ashrama. Varna means 4 colors. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, 4 divisions. And Ashrama. Ashrama means man is studying, that is called Brahmacharya Ashrama. He marries and becomes householder, Grahasthashram. He goes to forest, Vanaprasthashram. He takes up the renunciation, Sannyasashrama. So he has to be in some ashrama. Then his age. A young man does like that, an old man does it like a small child does something different. Avasthadi, his financial or social positions. Vishesha. So particulars of this nature. Particulars of his varna, ashrama, vaya, avastha, adhyasam. This is superimposed on the real nature. This is superimposed on consciousness, ashritya. Taking the support of it, pravartante. The sentence says, a Brahmin should do like that, or anybody, for this he should do that, are applicable to only accepting that all these differences exist, which are superimposed upon Atman. Adhyasa nama atasmin tad buddhiti avochama. Now he reminds us what is superimposition. Atasmin tad buddhi. It is not that, but we think it is that. Think is a very ordinary word. Huh? We are aware that it is that. It is not that, and we are aware that it is that. We are not body, and we are aware that we are body. There is nothing real in the objective world, and we are aware that they are real. So, we think, we feel are very weak translations. We are aware. That is buddhi. Buddhi is not intellect. Buddhi is bodha, our awareness. In all the Shastras, the word buddhi is not word for our rational intellect. The word buddhi is used for our bodha, our awareness, our eye consciousness. Iti avochama. We have already told you that that is called superimposition. That thing is not there. My body, my indriyas, that is not there. And I feel it is there. It is not that. My body is not my reality, but I feel it is my reality. I feel, in other words, I am aware of it as my reality. Iti avochama, we already told you. That example, beautiful example now. How a man works, varnashramadi conditioning. Tad yatha, yatha means example. Putra bharya adishu vikaleshu sakaleshu va aham eva vikala sakala va iti bahya dharman atmani adyasyati. If a son loses a limb, vikaleshu means he is not all right. He loses one limb. Many sentences are grouped together. Now let us analyze. Son has lost some limb. Then the man feels, I have lost one limb. If wife loses one limb, the man feels, I have lost my limb. Adi. If the house is damaged, man feels he is damaged. On the other hand, sakaleshu. If the son is all right, I am all right. If my wife is all right, I am all right. If my house is all right, I am all right. So, Bahya Dharman Atmani Adyasyati, the external characteristics, he superimposes upon himself. Common man's life is being described. First point. Little better, little nearer, tata deha dharman, sthulaam, krushaam, gauraam, tishtami, gacchami, langayami chaiti. The characteristics of the body. When he says, I am fat. Body is fat, he says, I am fat. Body is lean and thin, he says, I am lean and thin. Body is fair complexion, he says, I am a fair complexion. Body stands, I stand. Body walks, I walk. Body jumps, I jump. In this way, what is happening to body? In my awareness, it is happening to me. So step by step, externalized, objectified consciousness. Something happens to son, wife, husband, father, mother, house, property, money, that happens to me. Secondly, if something happens to my body, it happens to me. Thirdly, tatha idriya dharman, muka, kana, kliba, badira, anda, amiti. Dumb. Dumb means tongue cannot speak, but I become dumb. I lose my eyes. Eyes are not functioning, I become blind. Cleaver, impotency, that is work of the generative organ. but it becomes, I become important. Badira, deaf. My ears are not working, I become deaf. Blind. Eyes do not work, I think I am blind. So, characteristics of organ are superimposed on myself. Tatha, the inner organ, अंतःकरण धर्मान, काम संकल्प विचिकित्सा अध्यवसाय आदि, desires are in the mind, and I feel, I am aware that I have this desire. Sankalpa, resolution that I shall do this, is a property of the mind. I feel it is my property. Vichikitsa, doubts are in the mind. I think I have doubts. Adhyavasaya, a nishchay comes and tenaciously I work something, I think it is I am working. That is the property of the buddhi. Adin. So, because the antakarana works in 4 ways, he has mentioned 4 and then says etc. Desire, resolution, doubt, adhyavasaya, adin. Many functions are there. Though the Western world thinks mind is the seat of consciousness, thinking, feeling, and will, the Indian system in Aitareya Upanishad and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we get 10, 12 points of what the mind is. So here is Adin. So this is superimposed upon himself. The real nature of the self has nothing of this. It is only existence and bliss. Evam aham pratyayinam ashesha swaprachara sakshini pratyagaatmani adhyasya. Aham pratyayinam. Who feels I? The inner, the antakaran. Antakaran feels I. Ashesha swaprachara sakshini. This antakaran is being superimposed upon the witness, the unchanging awareness of all the functions of antakaran. Antakaran is functioning in many ways, and all that are seen by the consciousness. But the antakarana dharmas are being superimposed on that sakshi. Pratyagatmani, who is the innermost self, adhyasya, superimposing functions of the mind on the unchanging witness of the functions of the mind. Tam cha pratyagatmanam sarva sakshinam tad viparena antakarana adishu adhyasati. And simultaneously, this innermost self, which is the witness of unchanging witness of all, tad viparena, on the other side, antakarana adishu, is superimposed on my antakarana, on my indriyas, on my body, in the outside objects. This is what is happening. The functions of outside world, body, indriyas, mind are being superimposed upon myself, and myself is being superimposed upon mind, indriyas, body, outside objects. Evam ayam anadi ananta naisargika adhyasa mithya pratyaya rupaha kartrutva bhoktritva pravartaka sarva loka pratyaksha. He said, now this is evident in everybody. Anadi, when it has started, there is nowhere. Ananta, when it is going to end, if we get real knowledge, it will end. Otherwise, by itself, it is not going to end. Naisargika and most natural. Adhyasa, superimposition, double. Mithya pratyaya rupa, of the nature of wrong knowledge. Kartrutva bhoktrutva pravartaka. Now he has brought the essence of jiva. Two things are absolutely essential when we feel I am a jiva. I am the doer, I am the experiencer. Both are subject of the subject-object word. I am the doer and I am the experiencer. Pravartaka. That means this wrong knowledge produces these two. Sarvaloka Pratyaksha, evident in throughout the world, in everybody. Now, is this awareness brought by Shankaracharya, is this not the cause of all the problems of life? All the problems of life, social problems, adjustment problems, economic problems, social problems, health problems, problems of the mind, are all of them not due to this superimposition? Asya anartha heto. This is the root of every problem in life. Prahanaya. And we can remove it. We can remove it because it is based upon wrong knowledge, because it is based upon superimposition. By realizing our own real nature, all this vanished in a moment. So, the root of all the problems of life can be destroyed. Atma Ekatva Vidya Pratipattaye, by gaining the knowledge of Atma Ekatva. That means all of you are saved. We are all one. There is only one reality in the world. There is no I and you difference in the world. If we get this knowledge, then only that is the real nature. Brahman, Atman, words only. All souls are one. There is nothing in the world apart from consciousness. If this awareness comes, what will happen? The root of all problems will be destroyed. You have to feel this. For generating this feeling, Shankara has made this introductory comment. And that is why this portion called Adhyasa Bhashya is very, very famous. Step by step he has shown that the root of all problems in life is this wrong knowledge, is this superimposition, and we are suffering under this superimposition for our everyday life, even our sadhana, everything, we are suffering due to this superimposition, even to go to transmigrate and go to better places, we are suffering under this superimposition. It is the root of all problems in life. And on the other side, if we are taught that we are one, Sarve Vedanta Arabhyante, Sarve Vedanta, plural. All the Upanishads are begun. Begun means they are therefore. Arabhyante means they begin, means they are therefore. All the Upanishads are therefore teaching us, giving us the knowledge that there is only one soul in the world, which will destroy all our problems. That is the Adhyasa Bhashya. Yatha cha ayam artha sarvesham vedantanam, that this is the meaning of all Upanishads. Tatha vayam asyam sharirika mimansayam pradarshisham. Because in the sharirika mimansa called the Brahma Sutra, all the Upanishads are referred to. So we shall show you how this is the meaning, purport of all the Upanishads, that they will teach us how to realize our own real nature, by which the root of all problems will vanish. Pradasheshama, we shall show during our commentary on this Brahma Sutra that how all the Upanishads teach us how to get that real knowledge by which the wrong knowledge, superimposition, which is at the root of all our problems, will vanish. That we are going to show you through our commentary on the Sharirika Mimamsa Shastra. That is how Shankar ends this Adhyasa Bhashya. So I think Adhyasa Bhashya is clear in our mind now. He has shown the superimposition. He has shown that all of us are suffering under superimposition. Even those who believe in the transmigratory self, they are suffering under superimposition. Those who go to get real knowledge, they are also at present under the same superimposition. For them, the Vedas teach to take them out of that. And he has compared scholarly men with animals. We go forward towards what is pleasing to us. We go away from what is not pleasing to us, though we may be scholars. And so, to hit at the and superimposition of outside object, body, indriya, mind on our real nature, superimposition of our real nature, consciousness, immortality, unchangingness, not connected with anything, that is being superimposed on mind, indriyas, body, outside objects, and that is the root of all our problems. And this can be destroyed by right knowledge, which all the Upanishads are declaring. And the essence of all right knowledge is summed up in one word, Atma Ekatva Vidya. That there is only one Atman throughout the world, there is nothing else. This knowledge, this culture, this knowledge will be given to us. We can culture it and arrive at that. That is called Vidya. Pratipattaye, that we can possess it. That is being, for that purpose, all the Upanishads are there. And so, how this is the meaning of all the Upanishads, we shall show in this commentary on Sharirika Mimamsa. Okay? So we start the actual sutra. Time is left with us. Let us start. Now here, we shall change our style a little. There is an introductory commentary that we shall read afterwards. We will now take up one sutra and try to understand as much as we can, and then refer to Shankara Bhashya. That will take us much deeper in our understanding. So now comes the first sutra. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Word by word, let's understand. Atha means now. Atha means therefore. Brahma Jigyasa, this is a compound word and it means a lot of things. Brahman, by the very word, Brahman means something, and that is beyond all, pervading all, the real nature of all of us, the cause, Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Karta of the world. This is the meaning coming out of the word Brahman. Jigyasa. Jigyasa is not curiosity. Jigyasa is that desire, Shankara will show, that desire of experiencing that, realizing that, not stopping. That desire is not stopping till we achieve that completely. Now the sentence is incomplete. Now the desire, that is the sentence. Now, therefore, the desire to know Brahman. So we have to complete the sentence, that is the sutra literature. So what we add has to be there. Because of this Adhyas Bhashya, that desire should come in us. And it has to be fulfilled. Effort is made to fulfill that. Here, I differ from all the translators. Therefore, some deliberation. I do not find your deliberation here. We assume that such a desire should be there, and such a desire and the attempt of the Shastras is to fulfill this desire of ours. Whether it is deliberation or what will come next. So, the sentence becomes complete by assuming such a desire should be there and attempt should be made to fulfill it. Then the sentence becomes complete. And we shall see through Shankar's commentary how this is the meaning. Let us summarize the meaning. Now, therefore, there should be the desire for knowing that Brahman, and the desire, an attempt should be made to fulfill that desire. Now the two words, atha and atha. Now. What is now? Not one fine morning. Not that we have done a lot of work in our life, now we become old and retired, now let us think. No, now that does not mean that. Now means we are struggling. We are on a path. And in continuation with that, that is what Shankar will show. Let us take this on the next one. Let us take the detailed meaning of the word atha and atha on the next turn, and the detailed meaning of Brahma Jigyasa also. Today we have, as much as we could understand from the word Brahman and Jigyasa we have done. So we'll enter it on next week. So it has been joyful to share with you all my thoughts on this Adhyasa Bhashya. And on the Brahma Sutra Bhashya, we take up next turn. Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.